Hi everyone, my name's Anjali and welcome today to our WOCY time with children and tweens, where we are, you might have guessed it from the photo, we are celebrating the Tour de France that normally takes place between June and July. That cycling competition that lasts for, I think it's 21 days, mostly across France, but also it can go into other European countries as well. And it is thought to be one of the hardest cycling races in the world. So I know that it's not quite the time for the Tour de France in 2020. It's taking place a little bit later in August and September, but we can still think about what is to come. And what is to come, we always need to think now, whenever we're doing any sort of sport, it's really important to be kind and listen to our bodies, to really do our best, but also to know that working hard, sometimes we can work so hard that we can hurt ourselves, and we don't want to do that. So when you're doing yoga, I want you to listen to your bodies, only do what's comfortable. A stretch is good, a balance is good, feeling strong is good, but when it starts hurting, please stop. It's also really important to give yourself some space, to respect yourself when you're doing your yoga. So make sure there's nothing in the way around you, but also respect anyone else's space that you're doing yoga with as well. All right, let us start with a warm-up, because part of the Tour de France goes up and down the mountains of the Pyrenees and Alps, which are in France. So let's stand up. And before we do that warm-up, just want to quickly show you the purple bit on my map is Europe, and the biggest country that you can see here in Europe is France. Okay, right now, there are various interesting things about the Tour de France, including the colour of tops that different people in the race are given when they have done something amazing. So first of all, we're going to think about the top, the maillot pois rouge. So that is the white jersey with the red dots. And that is given to the person that gets the most points for climbing up and down, well, climbing more, but for the fastest time, the most points for going up and down the mountains in the Tour de France. So you can see here, I'm stretching my body up. We've got a nice wide base to a mountain, as wide as you feel comfortable, not too wide, so that you can really stretch your body up, lifting yourself tall like the top of the mountain. But the mountain cannot stand tall without a strong, wide base. So I'd like you to really, really stretch up, as if you are the king of the mountain. Literally, that is the name given to the winner of the maillot à pois rouge. Sorry for the accent, as we stretch our bodies up. Well done. Okay, now there is another white jersey, they call it, these tops that are given to the various winners of the Tour de France. And there is a white jersey given to the youngest person who wins the Tour de France. So what I'd like us to do is to pretend that we are on our bicycle. We are holding on to the handlebars, okay? And we have to really use our thighs for a very, very long time. So we're gonna sit here. It's like we're in our chair position. We're gonna sit here for a little while while I tell you a few things about the maillot blanc, okay? So the maillot blanc was won by, well, the youngest person to win this was 19 years old, and he won the maillot blanc at 19 years old in 1904. Now the Tour de France only started in 1903, so it was a really young person that won that. And the young person has to be under 26 years old in order to win the maillot blanc. All right, now your thighs starting to feel really, really strong. Remember, if it hurts, then we are going to stand up, shake out, give them a rub, and then you can always try again. Right, here we go. We're really, really, really getting strong for 3, 2, 1. Very well done. Okay, now let us come down. And you can either sit with your eyes closed as we come to our WOCY relaxation, our WOCY little timeout, or you can lie down on the floor. As I'll tell you a story about 2 other colours of jerseys, maillots, that are won in the Tour de France. But if you're lying down on the floor, this is our Shavasana resting pose. You can have your feet a little bit, your legs apart, feet to the side, arms apart, hands turned upwards. And if you don't like having your legs long, because this is the best way to rest lying on your back, have a nice long back, the floor just supporting your back, supporting your body. You can bend your knees, feet to the floor. You can even put your hands on your tummy. So you decide where you'd like to rest. As I say, it's either sitting up with your eyes closed or lying down in that Shavasana, that resting pose with your eyes closed. And as you sit or lie down, I'd like you to start listening to your breathing. Listen to your breath in and out. Do you think you're breathing fast or slow? Just listen to your breath and let it slow down. And so there are two other winners of the Tour de France. You might have heard of the famous yellow jersey, the maillot jaune in the Tour de France, which is given to the person who wins each stage of the race of the Tour de France, and also is given to the overall winner. And the last jersey is the maillot vert, and this is the green jersey, which is given to the person who manages to cycle the fastest in what they call a sprint part of the race. So it's when everyone has the chance to show how fast they can cycle. So as I think about people that work really, really hard, train really, really hard to take part in the Tour de France, I think that they can only work hard if they really enjoy doing it. So today, with your eyes closed, as you're sitting or lying here, I'd like you to think of something that you really like doing. And what would you be able to do when you do that thing really, really well, when you get really, really good at it? What do you need to do to get good at it? How do you think you'll feel when you get really good at it? So now, if you're lying on the floor, I'd like you to start moving your fingers and toes. Roll over to your side with your eyes closed and stop. When you're ready, use your hands to help you come and sit up tall. And then sitting up tall, being kind to your body. Rub your hands together and make a warmth between your hands. Then cup your hands and put them over your eyes and let the warmth sink into you. Slowly open and close your eyes behind your hands. Spread your fingers apart and pull them down over your face. Take a big breath in as you stretch your hands up. Look at your hands up above your head if you can. Breathe out as you bring your hands down in front of you as we bend forward and say Namaste. The goodness in me honours the goodness in you, and I thank you very much for joining me for our WOCY time with Children and Tweens, where we have celebrated the Tour de France.